there were whispers in the fabric of existence, ripples that made even the Watchers tremble. Across the endless continuum of universes, one name began to echo louder than any other: Franklin Richards. Born of human parents, Reed Richards and Susan Storm, yet molded by something far beyond mortal comprehension, Franklin was a paradox wrapped in infinite potential. From the moment he opened his eyes as a child, reality bowed to his imagination. Stars flickered into being at his laughter. Entire timelines trembled when he cried. And when he dreamed, new universes formed. The Celestials once gathered to understand what Franklin truly was. Their judgment was unanimous. He was a being who existed outside of cosmic hierarchy, a child who could one day rival eternity itself. They gazed into his soul and saw galaxies still waiting to be born. But even they, the architects of existence, could not predict the path that awaited him. Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, had long sensed this anomaly. He was a force of nature, neither evil nor good, only necessary. Yet when Franklin's power began to spread beyond human boundaries, Galactus felt something he hadn't felt since his own rebirth from the death of the previous universe: uncertainty. When Franklin reached maturity, his mind expanded beyond comprehension. He began restoring the universes lost in the multiversal collapse. He spoke with entities beyond time: eternity, infinity, death, and even the Living Tribunal. But one day something shifted. Franklin saw a future where Galactus would consume the last remnants of creation, a final hunger that would end everything, leaving nothing behind. Franklin could not allow that, but Galactus too had seen a future. In his visions, Franklin stood before him not as an ally, but as a destroyer, an entity who would shatter balance, bringing endless creation without destruction. To Galactus, this meant entropy itself would cease, and the cycle of life and death would freeze. To him, Franklin was not salvation, he was a cosmic flaw. Once they were allies. Franklin had even made Galactus his herald, binding the Devourer's will to his own so they could rebuild a shattered reality together. Under Franklin's guidance, Galactus became not a destroyer but a creator, helping seed life across barren cosmos. Together, they restored universes lost to time and gave new meaning to existence. For eons, peace reigned between them, but peace, like all things, has its limits. When the Celestial War erupted, an event spanning dimensions, Franklin's creations were drawn into the conflict. Entire galaxies perished. The Celestials demanded Galactus return to his original role as the Devourer, the cosmic balancing force that maintained equilibrium by consuming energy that could not be sustained. Franklin refused to allow more death. He defied the cosmic order and revived what had been lost again and again, restoring what Galactus destroyed. This act of defiance began to tear the fabric of reality itself. The universe grew heavy with creation, overloaded with new worlds and souls that had not yet been balanced by destruction. Stars flickered unnaturally, and black holes wept light. The Living Tribunal intervened, decreeing that one of them, either Galactus or Franklin, must yield, or the universe would implode under its own paradox. Galactus sought counsel from eternity, who spoke coldly. Balance must be restored. Galan of Ta, the boy has undone what you exist to protect. He must be stopped. Galactus answered not with words, but with silent resolve. He knew what had to be done. He journeyed through the veil of realities to find Franklin, who stood upon a recreated world, Earth Prime reborn, his own creation, filled with life and hope. Franklin Richards, Galactus thundered, his colossal form blotting out the skies. You have defied the law of cosmic balance. You have created without destruction. Do you not see the universe drowning in its own existence? Franklin looked up, his eyes glowing like twin stars. And must life always pay the price for balance? I'm not bound by your hunger, Galactus. I am beyond it. You misunderstand, child, Galactus boomed. I am not hunger. I am the end that gives birth to beginnings. Without me, your endless creation will collapse into chaos. Franklin stepped forward, and with each step, reality itself shimmered. Then maybe it's time for something new. A universe that does not need death to sustain life. Galactus's vast armor pulsed with cosmic energy. Then you leave me no choice. A silence fell over the cosmos. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath. The ancient bond between creator and destroyer shattered that day. Franklin Richards, the being of infinite imagination, stood defiant against the Devourer of Worlds. All Franklin returned to his chamber of creation and stood before the living model of the multiverse, a shimmering sphere that contained every universe he had ever imagined. "If you come for me," he whispered to the stars, "you come for them all." And somewhere in the infinite void, Galactus stirred, his vast ship emerging from the folds of reality. He no longer came as a herald of balance. He came as judgment itself. The stage was set. The child of infinity would face the Devourer of Worlds. One wielded creation, the other embodied destruction. The battle was not for territory or power. It was for the meaning of existence itself. And as Galactus descended upon Franklin's world, the universe trembled, knowing that whatever outcome emerged, nothing would ever be the same again. The moment Galactus entered the domain of Franklin Richards, the universe itself reacted. Galactus's presence was a gravitational symphony of destruction, every particle trembling under his weight. The sky above Earth Prime Reborn split into prismatic fractures as his colossal form emerged from hyperspace. His voice thundered across all planes of existence at once. "Franklin Richards, come forth." Franklin appeared without transition. One heartbeat he wasn't there. The next he stood before the cosmic giant, a man in human form, but radiating the light of 10 billion suns. His eyes shone like galaxies, his aura bending space as easily as breath. Around him the multiversal core pulsed, a construct of pure creation energy he had built to sustain his infinite worlds. "Galen," Franklin said softly, his tone calm but his gaze fierce. "I once called you my friend. Why do you come as an enemy?" Galactus's armor rippled with cosmic flame. "Because you have unmade the law that sustains reality. You create endlessly but nothing dies. Life without death is corruption. I am the equilibrium, Franklin Richards. You have become imbalance." Franklin extended a hand, and universes blossomed from his fingertips, tiny spheres of light that contained infinite life. "And yet you call me the imbalance. Look at what you destroy to sustain your hunger. I offer an existence beyond that cycle." Galactus's eyes flared with violet radiance. "Then let us see whose truth endures." In that instant, the battle began. A shockwave of creation met a storm of entropy. Galactus raised his hand and unleashed the power cosmic, a wave so immense it unmade solar systems in its wake. Franklin countered effortlessly, his thoughts weaving reality like a painter brushing color onto an empty void. The energy collided, creation and destruction folding into one another, and for a heartbeat, all of existence froze. Then the explosion came. It was not light. It was meaning itself unraveling. Time rippled backward. Galaxies aged in seconds, and dimensions screamed as the two beings tore through existence. Franklin's form shifted to pure energy, his voice echoing through the infinite layers of reality. "You cannot destroy what I am, Galactus. I am the dream that births eternity." Galactus strode through collapsing stars, his every step a thunderclap of cosmic power. "And I am the awakening that ends the dream." He grasped Franklin's essence in his hands, compressing reality until it threatened to implode. Franklin's power exploded outward, forcing Galactus to stagger for the first time in eons. Franklin then struck, not with fists, but with creation itself. He imagined a version of Galactus without hunger, a being of balance and light, and forced that image upon his adversary. For a moment, Galactus faltered as his form twisted, reshaped by Franklin's will. But Galactus roared, shattering the imposed reality with a surge of raw cosmic truth. "You cannot change what I am, boy. I existed before your kind had words for creation." Then Galactus summoned the totality of the power cosmic, energy drawn not just from this universe, but from countless others. The wave struck Franklin like a collapsing eternity. Planets vaporized. The heavens turned silent. Even Franklin's godhood wavered under the sheer weight of it. Galactus advanced. "Yield, Franklin Richards. Restore the balance." Franklin's voice trembled, but not with fear, with defiance. "No." He raised both hands, and from the core of his being, he unleashed Genesis energy, the primordial force of creation before time. It engulfed Galactus, forcing the Devourer to his knees. For the first time since the dawn of this cosmos, Galactus screamed. The energy tore through his armor, turning him into a silhouette of raw essence, both man and myth dissolving into pure light. But Galactus's eyes flared once more. He rose, battered but unbroken, and whispered, "If you are creation, then know this. Creation without end destroys itself." With that, he opened his palms and absorbed Franklin's Genesis wave, feeding on it as he would a dying star. He turned Franklin's own energy against him, devouring the infinite possibilities that powered the young god. Franklin gasped as his creations began to fade, universes collapsing, stars dimming, souls vanishing into Galactus's growing might. Franklin staggered back, his form flickering between dimensions. "You're consuming it all." "Yes," Galactus declared, his voice echoing through the dying cosmos. "Because that is my purpose." Franklin summoned everything he had left, every thought, every dream, every atom of creation, and unleashed it in one final act. The explosion lit up the void like a second Big Bang. When the light faded, the multiverse was silent. Galactus stood alone. His armor cracked, his power drained, but he still stood. Before him, floating weightlessly, was Franklin Richards, unconscious, fading but alive. Galactus looked down at him, and for the first time in his endless existence, sorrow touched his cosmic soul. "You are magnificent, Franklin Richards, but you are still bound by what you imagine. I am what is inevitable." He reached out and absorbed the last fragments of Franklin's unleashed energy, not to destroy him, but to seal him within himself, preserving his essence. Franklin's body dissolved into light and vanished within Galactus's chest, becoming part of the power cosmic. The Devourer of Worlds turned toward the horizon of creation. His voice echoed through what remained. "From this, balance is restored. The child becomes the seed of renewal. Through him I shall feed, and through me he shall live." In that paradox, both victory and tragedy were born. Galactus had won, but within him now pulsed the essence of Franklin Richards, the god who dreamed beyond limits, and somewhere deep within the Devourer's eternal heart, a faint light still glimmered. The dream of a child who believed that creation could outlast destruction. The battle was over. The balance endured. Galactus had prevailed.